Elias Thorne's crazy call-up. Alright, so there's this old tale people tell in Cornwall, especially around this ancient village called Greenbrook. It's about this scholar, Elias Thorne. He was a super smart guy, really kind-hearted, and everyone knew his name, even though he just lived in a little cottage. One autumn, when the fog was rolling in like ghosts through the trees, Elias got hit with this sudden, really bad fever. He was stuck in bed, barely breathing, drifting in and out of consciousness. All of a sudden, he sees this weird glow, and then this tall dude shows up, wearing old leather armor, leading this horse pure white, except for a white patch on its forehead. "Mr. Thorne," the messenger says, his voice deep and old, like the wind blowing through a graveyard. "You're being called for some kind of test, a selection." Elias struggled to lift his head, totally confused. He was like, "A test? What are you talking about? Has the big judge come down already?" The messenger didn't answer, just kept staring at him with these eyes that said, "You're coming, no arguments." Elias felt this weird strength kick in, and he managed to get onto the horse. They rode on this road he'd never seen before, and the air felt old, like dirt and ancient things, but kinda cold too. Before long, they arrived at this city. It wasn't like any city he'd ever seen in the world. Its towers went way up, like nothing you'd ever seen before, and every stone looked like it had been there forever. It was definitely not built by any human king. The messenger took him into this massive hall, huge ceiling, just mind-blowing. At the back of the hall, there were about a dozen serious-looking folks sitting on a high platform. Elias didn't know most of them, but he recognized one, this big, powerful-looking guy with eyes that just burned. It was St. George, the one from all the legends about justice and sacrifice. Down below the platform, near the edge of the hall, there were two old-looking tables and chairs. Some other young scholar, who looked a bit pale, was already sitting at one of them. So Elias just sat next to him. Each table had paper and a pen ready. A moment later, this soft light comes down from the ceiling, and it forms into a big scroll with 8 words on it. These weird old letters that almost seem to move. 1 and 2, heart and no heart. Elias and the other scholar just started writing, thinking hard. In his answer, Elias wrote something like, "If you do something good just to get something out of it, even if it's good, you shouldn't get extra credit. But if you mess up by accident or didn't mean to, even if it's bad, maybe you don't get the worst punishment." When they handed their papers up, the serious folks on the platform passed them around, nodding and mumbling, clearly impressed. Then a loud voice boomed out, calling Elias forward. "Elias Thorne," the voice said, from the super serious-looking one in the middle. "There's a valley up in the north of England that needs a new boundary keeper. Someone to kind of look after things, keep balance. Your wisdom and kindness make you perfect for it." That's when it hit Elias. He was in the in-between, not quite alive, not quite dead. He just dropped to his knees, tears streaming down. He was like, "I can't say no to such a big job, but my old mom, she's over 70, and there's no one to look after her. Please, can I just wait until after she's gone?" The serious folks on the platform went quiet for a second. Then, this really old-looking one with a long white beard picked up this big, glowing book and flipped through it fast. "Elias's mother," he mumbled. "She's got 9 years left." Everyone started talking again. Then St. George's booming voice cut through. "Why don't we let that other scholar, Caleb, fill in for 9 years, and then Elias can take over?" The main one nodded, looking back at Elias. "We were gonna send you right away, but since you're so loyal to your mom, we'll give you 9 years off. We'll call you back then." He said a few encouraging words to the other scholar too. Both scholars bowed and thanked them, then walked out of the hall together. Caleb shook Elias's hand and walked him all the way to the edge of that weird city. He said he was from the valley near Durham, and he even gave Elias a poem as a goodbye. Elias pretty much forgot most of it when he woke up, but he remembered these 2 lines: "Got flowers and wine, spring's always around. No candle, no lamp, the night lights itself sound." Elias got back on the white-headed horse and rode away. When he got home and opened his eyes, it was like he just woke up from this super long, weird dream. Turns out, He'd been in his coffin for 3 days already. His mom heard him groan, rushed over and helped him out. Took him half a day to even talk, but eventually he told her everything that happened. He sent someone to the valley near Durham to check, and sure enough, there was this young scholar named Caleb who had died peacefully on the very day Elias was called up. 9 years. It flew by, but it also felt long. Elias Thorne stayed home, looking after his mom, living a normal life, but he never forgot that crazy call-up. When the 9th autumn rolled around again, his mom started getting weak. Just like they said, she passed away quietly one night with Elias right there. After Elias buried his mother, he took a bath, got dressed, and just calmly walked into his room. When his family found him later, he was gone, looking really peaceful, like he just fell asleep. But the story doesn't end there. Elias Thorne's father-in-law lived in the town nearby, by the West Gate. One day, he suddenly saw Elias ride up on this fancy horse, with all these people in old clothes and lanterns following him, coaches rumbling, right into the courtyard. Elias gave his father-in-law a proper bow, said goodbye, and rode off. Everyone was totally stumped. They had no idea Elias Thorne wasn't just a regular guy anymore, that he'd become this legendary boundary keeper. The father-in-law sent someone to Elias's village to check, and that's when they found out Elias had actually died that day. So that big vision wasn't just a dream. It was Elias saying his final goodbye as he went to do his sacred job. Elias Thorne actually wrote his own story down, but it got lost in some wars. So what we've got now is just bits and pieces about this crazy summons and how he became, well, what he became. But it's enough to make folks in Greenbrick, and anyone who hears it, feel a real sense of awe about those hidden worlds.